Hey, what is going on with y'all, man? It is Black Balloon, and I'm coming back with another video, so y'all already know what's going on. Alright, y'all. Now, as y'all can tell by this very famous figure that is on the screen, today we are here to talk about Prince. Now, before we get into the video, I did a video on Prince about 3 years ago. This was one of my first videos when I started editing once again. And a lot of y'all probably saw that video because it still gets comments every now and then, but it is a very glitched out video. For some reason, when I uploaded it, that was back when YouTube was messing with my channel a lot, the video completely glitched. Like, you can't even watch the video. You almost need like a seizure warning because it's so glitchy. It's flashing, it's turning green. I don't know what happened to the video. Maybe when it rendered, I don't know. Something happened to it and it's completely unwatchable, right? Now, a lot of people wanted me to redo the video, but I'm not just gonna redo it completely the way I did last time, because as y'all know, I can't really edit videos that way anymore because of YouTube new guidelines. So in this video, I do have a clip or two that I want to show and talk about some things I didn't talk about in that video. One of the clips come from Gregory. As y'all do know, he was very outspoken about Prince and his death. And he mentioned something that I didn't cover in the first video that I want to talk about in this one. I guess we could call this like an updated video on Prince, right? Then, of course, I have this article that I want to read that is going to kind of confirm the story that Gregory is talking about. And it gives us the official narrative of how they say Prince died. So, yeah, y'all, I'm not going to keep this intro going too long. We can jump into the first clip of this video. So with that being said, y'all, check this out.
Queen turned 90. The Queen just turned 90. There was a big celebration. And coincidentally, it was the same day that Prince passed away.
And it was the same day she was here in Washington, D.C. Front page of the Washington Post. Got her family dressed in pink, purple. And that's when she announced that Charles won't get, it's going to skip over him and point to the little boy, the Prince. The same day they killed Prince. They killed Prince on the plane. And that plane is owned by Warren Buffett. And so those are the games they play, man.
Well, let's talk about Prince, because you knew Prince, right?
No, he knew me.
Okay.
He talked about me because of I don't hang out with entertainers.
Okay.
But there's no way that now they come out till he died from AIDS. Okay? Well, remember, the night that he died the next day, he was on the plane. That same night they put him on the plane, he did a one-man concert at 8 o'clock and then another one. You saw it? Did it look like he was dying from AIDS?
No.
Okay, case closed.
Why did they want him dead now?
See, you ask me shit that I don't qualify to answer.
Okay.
Why did they want him dead now? Huh?
I'm asking.
Because the white folks that killed him, they're not like niggas and ignorant white folk. I'll kill you, motherfucker. They do it 10 years later. Now, if I had to guess, I think when he went into that record company and talked to them folk with that slave thing on it, that's what got him killed. Kill no nigga for no money. Ain't nothing but chump change he got. Chump change.
All right, y'all, real quick. I want to come in because there's a lot to process with what Gregory is talking about. And some of these points are key to understanding why they sacrificed Prince. He talked about if he could guess that one of the reasons they killed Prince is because of him going into the record label with slave written on his face. Now, he was advocating for artists to control their own music. And, he was basically trying to make a statement to his label to change the narrative and the conversation when he went into the meeting, so he can basically, gain control over his music, his likeness, and his image. Prince was in a battle with his former label, Warner Bros. His 1992 contract with the label included a $10 million advance per album, 25% of royalties, and 6 albums. The deal also created a joint venture between Prince Paisley's Park Records and Warner Bros. And although the deal was touted as monumental at the time, Prince was reportedly unsatisfied, said he wanted more freedom and money, and advocated the same for the entire industry. And Prince goes on and he explained how the battle with the record label motivated him to write the word slave on his face. The dispute led him to write the word slave on his face to say that he was a slave to his record label. A lot of people thought he was silly or crazy or disrespectful for that stunt. He thought it was ridiculous to create albums and consistently be on tour and only receive $7 million of an estimated $140 million gross from the tour. Quote, imagine yourself sitting in a room with the biggest of the big in the recording industry and you have the word slave written on your face. That changes the entire conversation, Prince had explained. You know what they think of us. They say it makes it real hard to talk to you with that on your face. Why? And it got real quiet. They don't want to get into all that. Adding language into the conversation worked perfectly. It changed the dynamic of the conversation. And so that is when he referred to himself as a symbol combined with the male and female anatomical signs, or as the media noted, the artist formerly known as Prince. So literally his name was the artist formerly known as Prince. He was basically trying to renounce his old self, giving himself a new name, and thus declaring he no longer owed the label anything because he claimed he was no longer Prince. So Prince and Warner Bros. Eventually parted ways in 1996. He released albums on several other labels after the Warner Bros. Era, owning his masters from all recordings with the other labels. So it ended up working at the end of the day. In 2014, Warner Bros. Gave Prince his masters for the work he recorded with them in a deal requiring 2 new albums. Until his untimely passing, Prince worked relentlessly, fighting for artist ownership across the music industry. So this is the point that Dick Gregory was talking about, and I think it's very important to note because he said these kind of people, they don't just say, hey, I'm about to murder you, or I'm gonna kill you, mother effer, like he said in the clip. And he was speaking real. This is how the industry works. They will get you 10 years later for a stunt that you pulled and embarrassed them on to begin with. And that is exactly how the industry works. Eventually, you're going to pay for it when you least expect it. So I just wanted to come in because I don't want to have to put all of this like in one talk toward the end of the video. I thought that was very important to note. But we'll go ahead and continue with the rest of this clip because I got something else I want to read to y'all. Check this out.
Like a lot of people are saying, he had gotten the rights to his recordings.
He got the what?
The rights to his master recordings.
Well, they tell you that so you can repeat it. How you know?
He had said it. He had said it. His lawyers.
How you know that was him? How you know who the fucking lawyers was? Huh?
Okay.
Huh? That's where you see you talking to the master, but I got the listeners. You know how many agents? The number one government agent is the mayor of Chicago's brother. Huh? Okay? Ain't nothing but CIA. Huh? So y'all come with this little old weak shit. Huh?
Well, I'm just curious.
No, you can't be curious out of ignorance.
Okay.
Huh?
All right. So.
I just told you what I thought.
Yes, sir.
Okay? But they're gonna tell you the motherfucker didn't have no insurance, no will, but they got motherfuckers do his hair before he go out on stage. Motherfucker twist the back of his clothes, make sure ain't no lint on it, but they can convince you he didn't have no goddamn. If you hate all your family, you do what that woman did, the billionaire woman in New York, Hemsley, left it to her goddamn dog. But y'all can't even see that because these crackers told you about the nigga. Huh? It's a game. It's a fucking game, man. And the most important thing, the plane he was on is owned by Warren Buffett. He's the one who rented the planes.
So there were pictures that TMZ circulated, supposedly of Prince riding a bicycle and waiting outside of a Walgreens.
I'm surprised you asked me that. I mean, this is for the people. That was after he came back from Atlanta. Day before he died, outside the compound. And you didn't see no crowds around the motherfucker. Hey, Prince, huh? Then who in the fuck is TMZ?
They're owned by Time Warner,
And who in the fuck is Time Warner?
his old record company.
Huh?
His old record company.
Okay, case closed. It's a game. We even investigated the fucking mayor. The mayor of that little town said he ain't never met Prince. Okay? Oh? Okay. It's a game, man.
So, I mean, the last thing on that, I know Tavis Smiley after Prince passed, Tavis Smiley said that he introduced you to Prince and that you had talked.
He introduced me to a show I did. I've never met Prince.
Okay.
I don't hang out with entertainers, no athletes.
Okay. So he saw when you did the State of the Black Union
Yeah,
address and talked about the chemtrails. You turned him on to something. So,
I don't have to, truth don't have to be validated by ignorance. I don't have to be validated, especially by an entertainer.
All right, y'all. So they ended that clip and they were talking about the Tavis Smiley show and how Prince went on the show and he explained what he learned from Dick Gregory in his Black State of the Union, where he was talking about chemtrails. Now, a lot of people, when they first heard Prince talk about it, they were like, oh yeah, that's what got him killed. They sacrificed Prince. He was exposing chemtrails. But little did we know it was a lot deeper as far as what was going on and the reason behind his death. Especially when you mention Warren Buffett owning the plane and, you know, TMZ always being there to take pictures and drop the news first. And basically it's owned by Prince, you know, former record label, Warner Bros., Time Warner. So just for context of this video, I do have the clip where Prince was talking about chemtrails. So I figured that would be important to go ahead and watch in this video because it shows, you know, the things that Prince was willing to take in, and he wasn't afraid to speak about it. And most importantly, he actually learned that knowledge from Dick Gregory. So we'll go ahead, check that clip out. Then I'm going to come back and talk about, you know, what led up to Prince's death and, you know, the theory of him being at Walgreens and what Dick Gregory spoke about, especially with the plane and, you know, how just a week before he basically almost died. We'll go ahead and get into that to end this video off. But for now, y'all, check this out.
When I saw the State of the Black Union, Dick Gregory really moved me and a lot of my friends. I show it to everybody that comes over the house, especially white folks, because they need to hear that, you know, so that they know more about all of us. Because what he said affects all of us. He said something that really hit home about this phenomena of chemtrails. And, you know, when I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time. And say, oh, that's cool. A jet just went over. And then you started to see a whole bunch of them. And the next thing you know, everybody in your neighborhood was fighting and arguing and you didn't know why. Okay, and you really didn't know why. I mean, everybody was fighting. So he started riffing about the chemtrails. And he started to say things that hit home so hard. And I would recommend that everybody try to get what he said online or wherever and try to get a copy of it and just listen to it. Because I was so moved that I had to write the song. The other thing is the first line of the song says I was born on the same plantation in the United States of the red, white, and blue. And we live in a place now that feels just about like a plantation. We're all indentured servants, you know. When I found out there were 8 presidents before George Washington, I wanted to smack somebody. You know, I wanted to know why I was taught otherwise. Just tell me the whole story. I'll fill in the blanks, but don't, you know, don't tell me something that you think I'm supposed to know.
All right, y'all. Now, remember in the beginning of the clip that Gregory said they killed Prince on the plane. He also talked about how, which is a widely known fact, Prince died on the birthday of Queen Elizabeth, which was April 21st, and he died in 2017, right? Now, that is obviously very blatant, and it's very interesting to note. Now, I found this article from the Associated Press that is very detailed, but when I read stuff like this, it really confirms that, they're selling us a story. They're selling us a narrative. And if you're able to pick it apart, you can notice what's going on here. Because remember, he said they killed Prince on that plane that was owned by Warren Buffett. And TMZ made sure they took those photos of, the alleged Prince riding a bike, being outside by Walgreens. Remember, he said there was nobody around him. He was outside of the compound. No people hey, that's Prince, blah, blah, blah. So that was alleged. Basically, he's telling you that was not Prince. That's why he said, who owns TMZ? Prince's label. Then he said, case closed. It's a game. He's telling you that was not Prince. That was just someone made up to look like him to continue to sell you the narrative that he overdosed off fentanyl. Now, that is very interesting. That's why I said it goes a lot deeper than what people think. Because me, myself, I believe he died on that plane as well. They can tell you whatever they want to tell you. And this is pretty interesting. So, Prince was 57 when he was found alone and unresponsive in an elevator. Note, in an elevator. At his Paisley Park studio compound in suburban Minneapolis on April 21st, 2016. Sorry about what I said earlier. He died in 2016, not 17. An autopsy found he died of an accidental overdose of fentanyl, a synthetic opioid 50 times more powerful than heroin. Authorities say it is likely Prince didn't know he was taking a dangerous drug, which was laced in counterfeit pills made to look like a generic version of the painkiller Vicodin. Source of those pills is unknown, and no one has been charged in Prince's death. Remember, this was around the time that a lot of these celebs and people, allegedly started dying of overdoses of fentanyl, which was another agenda. So, it says authorities say Dr. Michael Todd Schellenberg admitted that he prescribed another drug, oxycodone, under Johnson's name to protect Prince's privacy. Schellenberg disputes that, but paid $30,000 to settle allegations that the drug was prescribed illegally. Now, this is all the game in order to sell you this story that Prince died of an overdose. And, it could have been an overdose on that plane, but he wasn't addicted. He was injected, that's my opinion. So it says Johnson and Hill were on Prince's plane when he overdosed on the way back from an April 14, 2016 concert in Atlanta. Hill said that Prince told her he was depressed, enjoyed sleeping more than usual, and was incredibly bored. He told her after his show that he thought he was going to fall asleep on the stage. The plane made an emergency landing in Moline, Illinois, and after Johnson carried Prince from the plane, like you would carry a little kid or a baby, paramedics had to use 2 doses of a medicine that reverses the effects of an opioid overdose. When Prince took a large gas of air and woke up, he looked at Johnson without saying anything, and Johnson told paramedics, Prince feels fine. At the hospital, Prince refused medical tests. He said that he had just mixed 2 pills, that he was a good judge of his body, and he wouldn't do it again. Also says there are pictures of pills that were found in various bottles in several different rooms. Authorities have said many of those pills were not in their proper containers and many were counterfeit. This is classic on how they create these scenes in order for you to believe someone died from an overdose. The documents include interviews from Schellenberg and Prince's inner circle, including Johnson, who told investigators he had noticed Prince looking a little frail. But Johnson had initially contacted Schellenberg, his own doctor, to treat Prince in the fall of 2015. Schellenberg told investigators that Johnson texted him on April 7, 2016, saying Prince was complaining of numbness and tingling in one of his legs and in his hands, and he had vomited the night before. Now, it's very odd that April 7th, he texted the doctor, said that Prince was complaining of numbness. April 14th was an overdose. Then April 21st was the final overdose. Y'all see where we going here? This all happened in a span 7 days. 7 days. April 7th was the first complaint of numbness. April 14th, he overdosed. April 21st, he supposedly overdosed again and actually died this time. Then it goes on to say, Schellenberg last treated Prince the night before he died, conducting a urinalysis that tested positive for opioids. Meanwhile, Johnson and others had reached out to an addiction specialist, Howard Cornfield, who dispatched his son to Paisley Park to try to convince Prince to seek treatment. Andrew Cornfield showed up the following morning, and he was among those who found Prince dead. And just like Gregory said, it's a game. Look at the person who owned the plane. Prince's label actually being the people who own TMZ, who can put out whatever, get there first, and basically convince you that this really happened, that anything really happened. I think even with Nipsey Hussle, TMZ were the first people to have pictures and tell you that this happened, that happened. Because it's a game. They control the media, and whatever we see, read in these articles, that's what most people will believe. And, I think Prince's story is deep. It's another one of those situations. It's classic. It's a classic sacrifice on how they gave it for so many celebrities, artists, actors, actresses. And, once you really start getting into this stuff and researching and, learning, it's easy to point out that y'all selling this right here. This story is for sale. Why you think he signed another deal with Warner Bros. 2 years before he died for 2 more albums? They gave him the rights, and then he signed a deal for 2 more albums because they knew he was finna die in 2 years. They wanted to make a little bit more music from him. Once again, slave. That's why they inked that deal 2 years before he died. They knew what they was doing. And it goes right back to what he said, Gregory. They're not killing you right then and there. They're going to plot this out. Get you about 10, 15 years later. Set you up perfect. Crazy, y'all. It's a deep story. Hey, man, it's Sunday. Hope y'all enjoyed that video. Like I said, kind of like the remake update, a couple things that I didn't mention in that first video I did a couple years ago on Prince. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, man. As always, for my Sunday videos and any other day, I'm accepting requests for whatever y'all want to see on this channel. Remember, I can't do any of this without y'all. So definitely want to use this time to thank y'all for all the support, all the love that y'all constantly give me every time I drop a new video. It never goes unnoticed. I'm the most thankful for having y'all on my channel, man. It's a dope community to be a part of. So with that being said, y'all, it's Black Balloon, and I'm going to see y'all soon. I'm out.